Hi, it's that fantasy chick. Welcome back. It's another week, another stream, and we're going to be talking about Loki today. Um, so, but this upcoming weekend, we have a lot of things going on, a lot of things on the horizon. The Marvels is coming out this Friday, and the last episodes of Upload are going to be uploaded to Amazon, which means I'm finally going to start my Amazon Prime trial. So this weekend, I'm going to go see the Marvels, and then I'm going to probably binge watch all of Upload this this weekend. So I'm gonna have a busy weekend coming up. So with the very last episode of um, of Loki happening, I will most likely talk about Loki on Monday and Loki and the Marvels on Monday and upload on Wednesday. That will be next week. This week will be another No Wednesday show. So, yeah, another Wednesday with no show. So, no show this Wednesday, but next Wednesday we'll be talking about Upload, and next Monday we'll be talking about Loki and the Marvels. Okay, so this week, Loki, and the show is called Science slash Fiction. Um, so, okay, so you're right about one thing. So people were speculating whether or not they were going to reset the entire Marvel timeline. They didn't reset the entire Marvel timeline, but they reset Loki's timeline, and everybody went back to their original timelines. And Loki went back into time slipping. I don't understand why he didn't go back into his original timeline, but whatever. He went back into time slipping. I guess if he went back into his original timeline, he would have been dead. So he went back into time slipping. And we see that, Hunter B-15 was a doctor. We see Mobius was a surprise jet ski salesman. But more importantly, he was a single father of two boys, which means they took a single father away from his children. What happened to the children when they took him away from them? I don't care if they were adults. They took a father away from his children. That's cold-hearted. Casey was one of the prisoners who escaped Alcatraz, and Obi was a hapless science fiction writer. So these are all of their original timelines. So yeah. We get to see them in their original where they and of course Sylvie was back in the timeline she chose. So I wonder if they're going to end up going back to their original timelines. See Marvel's opening weekend. It better be banger. You were half right, because you thought they were going to reset the entire timeline, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They only reset Loki. B-15 being a doctor blew my mind. All of the previous lives, she's an enforcer at a TVA. But it made sense to me because she went from being an enforcer to someone who really, really, truly cared about people and helping people. And to me, that made sense that she was a doctor. His kids was bad as which is why they needed him more. They needed him even more. So they needed him even more. So I think that was very cruel, ripping a father away from his children. And I hope that once they um, clear up this whole TVA situation, they're allowed to go back to their previous lives. And I hope Loki takes the time to tell them about their previous lives. He admitted that he was being selfish and he wanted all his friends back. He's like, oh, they should have the choice. But Sylvie got him to admit that it wasn't about them making a choice to stay at the TVA, which really doesn't make any sense because they didn't get a choice. They never got the choice to go there in the first place. It was about it's about him being alone, and he didn't want to be alone. And my thing was, go be with your brother. That's where you belong. Why aren't you thinking about Thor, who is mourning your death? Go be with your family. That's where you belong. You belong with Asgard, not with the TVA. I will never understand this. So he spends the episode trying to convince them to come together so they can, save the TVA. And of course, OB is the one who was able to, use the TVA guy to rebuild the TemPad. It took him 19 months, but because it was you can move through time and space, it seemed like he did it in 5 minutes. Of course, he lost his job, his wife, and his house while he was building it. But hey. Yes, it was a nice character moment. But again, you have a brother who lost his mind when he thought you were dead that you can go back to. These friends you just met, but that brother you've been with for 1,500 years. These people you've known for barely a few months, but you're that attached to them over Thor? Thor, them ain't Loki real family, though. He is, but he always was kind of an outcast. Yes, but they were rebuilding that relationship. They were rebuilding that relationship, and the TVA to shortcut him getting to the same place he was at the end of the Avengers, at the beginning of the Avengers. They had him watch his whole life. So they had him watch where he was getting closer to Thor, and he experienced that. He experienced all that emotion. He experienced his death. Why wouldn't he want to go back and experience being close with his brother again? I'm sorry, he was close with Thor. It's 1,500 years. 1,500 years. That's a long time to be somebody's brother, to not even think about them. But anyway, so he finally gets the TemPad together, and he just needs Sylvie. But Sylvie was like, I ain't gonna do it. And then he goes back and he tells the people, well, we can't do it. You go back to your regular lives. And then, of course, Sylvie experienced, like, she didn't realize that stuff was starting to disappear around her before. Like, her McDonald's just disappeared, but she didn't even think about how her McDonald's disappeared in front of her eyes. That just went out of her head, I guess, because Loki appeared in front of her and it started time slipping. But and then or was that Loki whose drink, one of their drinks disappeared in the bar. I can't remember whose drink disappeared in the bar. It was either Loki or Sylvie's drink disappeared at the bar. But then she couldn't deny it when the record store disappeared around her. And in the same way that poor little Victor Timely, went away when he was going to save the temporal loom, they turned into spaghetti too. So she went to Loki and was like, "No, we gotta save the TVA. Everything is dying." So so they was like, people was just like going back and forth. Then they realized the temp pad was missing, and they think Casey stole it because Casey was eyeing it before. He's like, whatever, I ain't steal it. And then he disappeared. And then they just started disappearing one after the other. And then finally it was down to Loki. And Loki, he like he forces he first I think he forces time to go back and brings back Sylvie. And then I don't know, he has some revelation realizing that the power, he's able to bring them all back to the moment, either before Sylvie shows up or the moment when Sylvie shows up. And tells them that I was able to control it, the time slipping and the time. So he was like, I can rewrite time. And then the next thing you know, he's back at the TVA right before the temporal loom blows up. And that's how the episode ends. Loki and Thor had friends. Loki had the same friends that Thor had. He just betrayed them all. Sylvie was in denial when she saw that McDonald's disappear. Yeah, it seems so. Casey was the only one TVA actually saved because he was addicted to stealing. Casey, because, and then it's funny because Casey was one of the men from who escaped Alcatraz, and they're like, well, we don't know what happened to them because we know they got off the island, but we don't know if they survived their escape because you never hear from them ever again. So now they're saying, oh, well, what happened to them? And they got picked up by the TVA. Well, at least Casey got picked up by the TVA. So that's why you never heard of him ever again. It's because he got picked up by the TVA, but I don't know whatever happened to the other two. Unless they also got picked up by the TVA, because one of them looked like Brad. So they're trying to say the TVA went and picked up all three of those Alcatraz dudes and brought them into the TVA. But why? Mm. Loki with time travel ability is a real thing, but I don't want any spoilers. Yeah. I don't know how much of this is I don't know how much of this is going to be canon from any type of comic book. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Because I don't even know whose villain Kang is. Because we've seen him in Ant-Man, we've seen him with Loki, but I don't know which superhero Kang actually belongs to. So I can't say. I can't say. Right now they're sort of doing him like they did what's the purple man? Thanos. He's just sort of he just sort of belongs to everyone. So, but it feels like what's happening is Loki is acquiring the same ability as He Who Remains. He Who Remains was able to write uh, time and write out what the passage of time or whatnot. I feel like Loki is going to have the same ability as He Who Remains, and that he's going to be able to do what He Who Remains did. Yes, next episode is the season finale. Also, notice in this episode, did not see Renslayer, did not see Miss Minutes, even though Miss Minutes has been she has been reset, completely reset, but we don't know what happened to Renslayer in this resetting. We don't know where she ended up, if she went back to her original timeline. She probably did. She probably went back to her original timeline. So have no idea what's going to happen to her. And it's going to be, when they go back, it's going to be just her because, like I said, Miss Minutes has been completely reset. So she won't have Miss Minutes as a helper. She'll just have Brad. And now Loki can write time. So she'll be at a big disadvantage. She'll be at a huge disadvantage. Oh, what happened? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Did she get sent back yet again? I can't remember. I can't remember what happened to Renslayer the last time we saw her. For the season finale. No, she's got to stay exactly where she is. That thing is scary. That thing is creepy and scary. Daggett. I've already forgotten where we left Renslayer. I forgot. I forgot if she's been left in the room or if she's been left at the end of time again. She's in one of those places. I can't remember. I can't remember where she is. She may be at the end of time again. But by memory, and we didn't see her this episode. So, okay. So she is at the end of time. Miss Slayer is at the end of time. Okay. Yet again. With no Miss Minutes to help her get back. So she's pretty much stuck there. With no Miss Minutes to help her. And the dead he who remains. And like I said, Loki has he who remains powers. Rewrite time. So I feel like he's going to figure out how to fix that loom to be able to handle all those timelines. Somehow he's going to make it okay. Somehow he's going to be able to take it all the way back far enough to where they can get in and fix that loom before it becomes to whatever. There's too much radiation to go out and fix the loom. Either he's going to take it back farther enough so they can go out there and fix the loom before there's too much radiation and they just blow up before they can take two steps, or he's going to just, with his powers, rewrite the loom to be able to have the capacity to hold those timelines. Somehow his powers is going to be able to make everything right. Next episode is the finale. So he's going to keep it from blowing up. The only way to keep it from blowing up is to make sure that loom can handle the capacity of all those timelines. And they don't want to prune the timelines because they don't want to get rid of all those people and all those lives. So that it has to be able to hold the capacity of all those timelines. So it has to be something like that. Her and a bunch of Lokis. I can't remember what happened to those Lokis. I saw somewhere where they were like, he was stealing the show. He was stealing the show. That's what a quote somewhere from a TV critic was saying. He was stealing the show. He came in and he's doing his thing. He is doing his thing. That's correct, because I probably wouldn't have even thought about watching Loki before Marvel. So, and I am going to go watch, because I am going to watch Marvels on Friday, because Friday is Veterans Day, which means I don't have to work. So I'm going first showing on Friday to see Marvels. And so I'll watch Loki sometime before that. Sometime before that, I'll watch Loki. Okay, so yeah. So Friday, I'm watching the Marvels and Upload, and apparently Loki as well. And then Monday we talk about Loki and the Marvels, and then Wednesday I'll be talking about Upload. This Wednesday is another no show, no show this Wednesday, but another video this Friday. And if you haven't watched the video I did last Friday, please watch that video. It took me 2 weeks to get that video out. That was a lot of hard work and heartache went into that video. Please watch that video. Um, so there'll be another video this Friday. Um, and then next Monday and Wednesday. All right. Okay. So, all right. Ha ha ha. More pep in my step. I'm just waiting till I can binge watch. Friday, when I get back from the Marvels, I am binge watching Upload. And that's what my Friday is going to be. But all right. In the meanwhile, thanks for watching.